Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. DESTRY Rides Again is a 1939 American Western comedy film that was directed by George Marshall. It stars Marlene Dietrich and Jimmy Stewart in the lead roles. The supporting cast is Charles Winninger, Brian Donlevy, Alan Jenkins, Irene Hervey, Billy Gilbert, Bill Cody Jr., Lillian Yarbo, and Una Merkel. The storyline for the film goes that the unscrupulous boss of Bottleneck, a man named Kent, has Sheriff Keogh killed when he asked one too many questions about a rigged poker game. And after he's gone, the crooked mayor appoints the town drunk, Washington Dimsdale, to replace him. That new sheriff wants a deputy under the famed Tom Destry, swears off liquor, and asks Destry's son Tom Jr. to come back to Bottleneck as his deputy. Tom soon proves to be the butt of all the jokes in the town when he announces that he will police this place without wearing guns. They find out as time goes on that there's a method to his madness, as he also has to deal with saloon girl Frenchie, played by Marlene Dietrich. The songs in the movie that Dietrich sings are great. She sings "See What the Boys in the Back Room Will Have" and "You've Got That Look," and they've truly become classics because of this movie. The film was James Stewart's first Western, and he didn't return to this genre until 1950, with Winchester 73, followed by Broken Arrow. One of the highlights of the film is a ferocious cat fight between Marlene Dietrich and Una Merkel, which apparently caused some mild censorship problems at the time of its release. The prominent catfight scene was unchoreographed, and Dietrich and Merkel agreed to do it impromptu with only one rule that they had to follow. That was no closed fist. They used feet, pulled hair, did everything they could to get the advantage over the other. Marlene had bruises for weeks after this filming, but luckily the director got everything in one take. Merkel has stated that neither of them knew what they were doing. They just plunged in and started punching and slapping and kicking all over the place. They never did call in any stunt girls to add additional scenes. Dietrich ended up stomping her feet with high heels into Merkel. As a matter of fact, she had a toenail that never grew back from this. Merkel said that Dietrich was stronger than she was. Even though she was thin, she was very powerful. When Merkel was done, she was bruised from head to foot. She states that she looked like an old peach with green and brown spots. At the end of the sequence, Jimmy Stewart comes in and dumps a whole bucket of water on both of them. He did it for the long shot, and then he had to do it again for the close-ups. And then Life magazine wanted pictures of it, so he had to do it a third time. In the original script, there was a scene in the movie showing Marlene Dietrich putting her winnings from a wild night of gambling below her dress neckline. The censors initially approved the comment that she makes when she does it. She pats her chest and exclaims, "There's gold in them thar hills." After the preview audiences roared at that line, the censors ordered it to be removed. This movie kind of restarted Marlene Dietrich's career. She was often visible, having nightly dinners with people in the movie business, but nobody would give her a job. Nate Bloomberg had just taken over Universal Pictures, and he was kind of stymied by the budget of a picture that he had a lot of faith in, which was this one. He just didn't have a lot of money to get big-name stars. It was suggested that Marlene would be perfect for the role. After this film, she was back in the saddle, and she was strong continually afterwards. She's notorious for throwing herself into roles and learning the character backwards and forwards, even learning in this film to make her own cigarettes Western style, which included using her teeth to open the neck of a tobacco sack. Her role is etched into our memory, even if we've never seen this film, because her part as Frenchie was the inspiration for Madeline Kahn's role in Blazing Saddles. One of the things that put her on the skids in Hollywood at the time was just a string of flop movies that she appeared in, many done with Paramount, like Angel, The Scarlet Empress, and The Devil is a Woman. The poor performance of these movies labeled her as box office poison. On the screen and to his adoring public, Jimmy Stewart is considered the classic nice guy. He's a clean-cut gentleman that everybody loves. In 1949, he married socialite Gloria McLean, and the couple remained devotedly married for 44 years. Before that, though, the actor had many high-profile, and some of them hushed-up, lovers, and some pretty scandalous affairs. 10 years before his marriage, he got involved in a torrid and short-lived affair with Marlene Dietrich while on the set. The movie is billed as a lusty saga of a lusty age, and its 2 stars took that to heart with a passionate and troubled affair on the set. Dietrich plays this saloon girl, Frenchie, so well in front of the camera, but also behind the camera, she was up to her usual tricks of capturing her co-star, Stewart. Stewart at the time was still firmly single, but Dietrich had been married since 1923. But that union was famously open, and it's forever known that she was betting men and women, with her conquest being many names that you would recognize from Hollywood greatness. Stewart was hooked the moment he saw her, and they didn't even try to hide the affair at all. At one point during shooting, the clean-cut Jimmy Stewart was so visibly aroused on the film set by his scene with her that they had to stop shooting. The director was outraged, and they had to quit for a while to let him cool off. The director immediately told Stewart to get himself under control, and he wagged his finger at him in reproach. This might have been permissive in Hollywood, but time is money in Tinseltown, and that's one area they didn't mess around in. Anything that held up shooting had to stop. Finally, Jimmy Stewart is the one that put an end to the actual affair. Dietrich was furious and deeply hurt, with her pride being punctured. Stewart later on just dismissed the thing as one of those things that happens in life. He felt it was nothing too serious, just horsing around. If you want to see a real fun movie to watch, this is a good one. It's very well written, and its actors are on mark as well. Take another look at this classic from 1939. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.